So I promised some really big news today, and it's here. I found out that Troma Now, which is Watch Troma Now, is a new, it's basically online channel for Troma, is going to be distributing my movie, Chainsaw Maidens from Hell, for the month of February. So it's a perfect date movie, even though it involves chainsaws that are on fire and demons. But you can check it out now or go get a subscription to Troma Now. It is free for the first month, so anyone who wants to give it a try can go ahead and give it a try, and you can watch, I guess, unlimited Troma movies. Interesting, Troma actually had a Comcast channel a few years ago, and then they had a Hulu channel, and they do lots of stuff on YouTube. So you can actually check out a lot of their content for free. Now the strange thing is my, they've all gone away. The Comcast channel is no longer there. I went to actually check just to see, what had happened. It was like, what happened to the Troma channel? My guess is that, and on Hulu and all these other platforms, they put up their movies and someone complains about them because there's something offensive in them. For those of you that don't know what Troma is the oldest independent film company in the world. I believe they're 40 years old now. And so anyone who's been more than 40 years is essentially a major studio or bought by a major studio or something along those lines. So um, the fact that Troma's managed to be around since the 70s, I think 1977 was their first year in existence. So they've been around 40 years and produced movies like The Toxic Avenger, Class of Nukem High. That's now into 4 movies. There's 4 Toxic Avenger movies. They did Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD, Tromeo and Juliet, which is possibly became a kind of like a cult hit, an underground hit. Terra Firma, which is one of my favorite movies because it's about people basically making a low budget horror film, and of course, that's what we do. They also wanted to do Poultrygeist, and he's back doing another Class of Nukem High film. So he's got this huge pedigree of movies that he's made. Uh, Many of them cult classics, some of them big hits, some of them, kind of fell to the wayside. But they've also distributed like uh, thousands of movies. I think they once said that they had an 800 movie catalog. So I mean, they come close to distributing 1,000 movies. And among the people that got their first start with them were Trey Parker and Matt Stone of South Park. So they actually did a movie called Cannibal the Musical. No one would distribute it. It's a wacky, wild, funny movie that's based on a true story about a guy who actually did get lost in the wilderness and wound up eating his companions and uh, came back and was tried, and due to some technicalities was free. It's a real story, and then they turned into a musical called Cannibal the Musical. Um, and the wackiness of South Park and the sense of humor clearly is there from the early days. So those guys, the South Park guys, got their start there, and they went on to do, the Book of Mormon is probably this well-known Broadway show that they did. South Park, their most famous things, they did Basketball, Team America, World Police, and it all started with Troma. And so that style has its own audience. James Gunn is probably the second most famous. He might be the most famous. That'd be interesting to do a poll. Who knows the South Park guys or James Gunn? Who's more famous? Who do people know? But he did Guardians of the Galaxy, and he just did Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It was the biggest movie of 2014. And the interesting thing is, back in 2012, when I was in LA, I pitched Chainsaw Maidens from Hell at the American Film Market, and they were like, "Oh, it's too Troma. You don't want to do that. It's going to ruin your career. No one's going to want to work with you if you make a Troma movie." And all I can think of is 2 years later, James Gunn has the biggest movie in Hollywood for 2014. And where did he start? He started at Troma. There's no shame in having a Troma movie, and I'm actually very proud to say that now I have a Troma film. I nearly went with Troma as my distributor just for the prestige of it, just to say, yeah, we have a Troma movie here. They've been such a big inspiration to me over the years. Lloyd Kaufman is a great guy. I've read all of his books, and in 2011, he put out, "I need a makeup artist to come and help me out in this film shoot," and it was on Twitter, I believe, and I just responded, I'm like, "I'll do it. I'll come down." And I was a makeup artist on the short called uh, what was it, Sunny Acres Farms, where we put people in cages. For people that don't know, it's for PETA. Not that I support PETA that much, but Lloyd Kaufman, the owner of Troma, the president of Troma, is a big vegan, so he doesn't eat meat. We did this commercial for them for PETA, and got to know Lloyd, and he got to know me, and then I had him come up to Boston to do a table read for Chainsaw Maidens from Hell. And really interesting was that he was coming up that weekend to showcase a movie called Father's Day. So I got to spend a day with one of my film heroes and had him drive him around Boston. We went to Fenway. We took pictures of him in front of Fenway and all this stuff. It was just like, it was really, really an interesting experience. And then we brought him back to the table read and then to his movie premiere, which was a midnight screening at the Coolidge Corner Theater. And yeah, so that's how I got to know Lloyd and got involved with Troma. I got to know a lot of the people that work with Troma. When I went out to the American Film Market, I always kind of stopped into the Troma booth, which I said was like, it's like you can just walk in. It's one of the only places at the American Film Market that you just walk in. Everyone else has a secretary that's like, hey, what are you doing here? Stop. You know, because they don't want to have too many of those people just walking in. But Troma's just like that. They're just open and supportive of independent artists. And their booth says it all. And if you're a poor artist, they have the best candy. That's a tip to anyone going to the American Film Market. They had full-size candy bars, and everyone else had the little fun-size. Full-size candy bars at the Troma room at the American Film Market. So if you're a starving artist, you go there with your $800 American Film Market badge, and you scrape together all your money and save so you could go and meet all these producers. And so I got to know Lloyd really well, and you know. So it's kind of funny because I pitched this Chainsaw Maidens from Hell at the American Film Market, and I took second place. I did not win first. There's no prize for second. I should have won. There was a $500 prize for first place, and I took second. Right? It's like, so no prize for me. But 2 years later, my movie was completed. We shot it in 2014. In 2015, it was picked up by a distributor. 2016, it was for sale at the American Film Market. It is the epitome of a success for that market. And then now it's being distributed by Troma. So I've gotten the best of both worlds. I can say that it is a Hollywood production that was picked up by a Hollywood distributor, went to the American Film Market in Hollywood. We made it to Hollywood with this film, and then now we're being distributed by Troma. We are coast to coast. We are New York. We are Hollywood. We're big time, and we made it. We made it on no money for very little. But we got really good people involved in it, and we look forward to doing that again with this new studio. Once we get it built, we're gonna make some really awesome content on a very continuous basis, and then make another feature film that I think can do just as well, if not better. So yeah, yesterday was a real fun thing because I'd just been feeling like things were just not going fast enough. The studio's taking forever. We're still in permitting limbo. Hopefully that's going to end soon, and we're going to get this built and just be positive and make things happen in 2018.